Muy bien. Sí, 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 ya. my friends. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the live studio stream here. Our gig did get canceled due to weather, but not due to rain. Believe it or not, due to colder weather. By the time we get up and ready to play, well, around this time, in that exact area that we're playing at, it's hovering around the 60 to 59 degree mark. And within the hour, it's going to get down to 56 degrees and even colder. And although from us people who were born up north, that's not cold, but down here, it's what makes it cold is that restaurant in particular is really close to the water, and it's very damp, and it just gets cold. And there's not going to be many people sitting outside to have a dinner or even a drink if they're freezing. So we call that Florida cold down here. So I figure instead of just canceling, I might as well do a live stream. It won't be on too long, but do a live stream showing you exactly how I'm using these two together. And I know it's probably unconventional to do something. Well, actually, I had this idea for a while. But what really kind of set it in stone per se is that I didn't post this up yet. I'm gonna get his permission to. A good friend Mark, who is playing in a kind of like a country southern rock band up in Orlando. During the Thanksgiving break, we went up there, and I did some videotaping on the Zoom camera and some photos on the regular camera, and the phone camera here. And he has the Headrush MX5, I think it is, and he had that for a while. And just recently, he bought the Tonex. But what he's doing, he's using the Tonex for the amp sims and using the Headrush for the effects. And he made a good comment, which is something that, I've known, but I'm glad he said that because it just confirmed everything. He made a comment about, well, if the Tonex goes out, something happens, at least he has the amp sims in the Headrush. And, or if the Headrush goes off, he does have his Tonex. And he has some other effects he uses in conjunction with the with the Headrush. So he might miss some of his effects. I think what he has basically for the gigs he's doing now, he has separate pedals to get through the gigs that he's using for his sound. So it's like having two courses because he'll have a separate chorus pedal, and I'm pretty sure he does. And plus with the chorus effect that's within the Headrush, and then he's using his amp sims from the Tonex, and he's going direct to PA, and I was just pretty much blown away by everything, that how good it sounded. And now he runs sound at a place called Old Red, but he also runs sound at the Hard Rock Cafe in Orlando. As a matter of fact, I think the show is called, I think it's called B. I could be wrong. But it's with Steve Vai playing with King Crimson. And Mark, he helped run that show. And Mark did not get a chance to talk with Steve Vai, but he had a chance to talk with his guitar tech. And I thought, that's even better, because you could get all the insight. So, really happy for Mark that he's got this. It's a great gig. He went from working at Disney for 9 years to now doing Hard Rock Cafe and Old Red. And Old Red is a chain outlet. It's like a bar with live performances. It is mostly geared to country and southern rock, with the exception of a few acts here and there. But he's doing the sound there, and they love him there. And he's a great guy to work with, man. It's just incredible. His boss, I didn't realize I was talking to his boss when we were over there. And he didn't know where I was. I was staying inside stays. I was here with my friend Mark. We're actually living in Fort Myers area. Come up here, and we got Thanksgiving off and that, so want to check it out. And it's a really cool place. And he introduced himself. His name is Dave, the guy that's running the sound, that owns the sound system there. And he really likes Mark a lot. So I'm glad that's working out great for Mark. But this guy made a comment. He's an older gentleman too, and he in his day, younger day, maybe not too young, maybe about 10, 12 years ago, he was running sound for like a lot of the jazz fusion, smooth jazz. So he's very in R&B stuff. He's very well diverse in that sector as well as doing the country thing, you know. But he made an interesting comment. He said, you know, when I get these bands in, most we have cover bands, but when I get these bands in, I let them know, yeah, I prefer them to go direct because it's easier for him. Now, when we went there was a band that opened up for Mark, and there was a great guitar player, and he had a Boss Katana, and he had a sound baffle up against it, so it wouldn't bleed so much on the stage and through the mics and everything with the drummer. Um, and he was really great guy, great guitar player, you know, nice attitude, you know, real, it wasn't a prima donna. Because I'm gonna get to this point I'm gonna make here. The sound guy that owns the sound there, he says, you know, let these bands know that, you know, I have a certain preference, and you know, if you could go direct, go direct. If you don't have, if you have the amps, okay, we'll work with it. But basically, you know, he lets them know that, you know, you're a cover band, you know, so don't come in here with an attitude. You didn't write those songs. You're the cover band. So, you know, show the respect. So this is something a lot of cover bands are going to need to understand. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this Old Red is they got some in all over through the United States, I believe. I don't know how many, but I'm pretty sure they have one in Nevada, close to Las Vegas, and a few other places. So these people communicate with each other. Now I don't know per location what sound guy requires, but I know this guy says he really requires if you could go direct and show the respect, because you see these people communicate, especially when you got a chain outlet, they communicate. And if you come in thinking that you're the star and you're really, and as good as a cover band you might be, you come in with that attitude, that guy's going to call the next few other locations and say, hey, he might, I don't know, but he might. And you watch these guys because they're difficult to work with. So just keep that in mind. And so it gave me the idea of doing this because we figure I want to test the Zoom G2X4. I know it's a real inexpensive pedal. I know it might get a little bit of slack because the way it's set up with those little buttons and it being more made of plastic, very strong, sturdy plastic. And I did see a video of the Zoom of this pedal, the Zoom G2X4, going up against the Headrush, and you know the Headrush has got a lot more built into it, okay, and it is more expensive. But I was surprised when they were demoing the Marshall JCM 800 head to head, and I can hear the difference with the Headrush, but the Zoom did not do that bad at all. I was very much impressed. So we got it, and I was almost going to return it because the expression pedal, it's not like the Boss. Right out of the box, the Boss set for volume and watt, and then you have other settings you could you know, program and dial in your expression pedal. The Zoom, not only do you have to go in and set up the wah pedal, but your volume, it does act as a volume, but the volume pedal and your wah, you have to move it within the chain. Right out of the box, it's not like that. Yeah, at least this one wasn't. So let's see. Oh, let's see what's happening, guys. I'm on the other side of my camera here, so let me see what's going on here. I want to see the comments. John Dawson, what's happening, brother? Hope all is well. Old man Dan, what is happening? I got to check out your video, Dan. I did not get a chance to do that, and I always like your playing, man. But yeah, John and Dan, thank you for tuning in. And I want to send you a message, oh man, Dan. I think we sent you a message, John, about the channel name. I hope we did. I'm pretty sure Deb's usually on top of that. And oh man, Dan, we also want to get your email because I want to start, you know, communicating with you through email and maybe get your phone number. Because I like you, Dan. I think you should get a lot more views, man. I'll tell you that right now because as a guitarist, you are very inspiring, man. You're very, very musical. And that's what it's all about. So, getting back with this. Now, I'm going to show this, what I just did on this opening live stream is I used the ME90, this patch, user 6, the first 3 foot switches. I don't have any effects, any amp synths or anything. I only have, let's see if I can just, do I have the set here? set for volume, and foot switch number 1 in user bank 6, I have it set for a whammy. So that's set for whammy. Number 2, I have it set for delay oscillator. And then if I bring the pedal down, then it goes back to a volume. So it kind of bypasses that. Well, it doesn't bypass it. Okay, because I have a delay set in there. But I have it just set for that. Foot switch number 3, when I'm bypasses, I have it set for volume. So with the Univibe and the amp sound is coming from the Zoom. I have this set for also for wah within foot switch number 3. And then back to being a volume. So what's really cool, and I hit foot switch number 1 on the ME90 volume. And now if I want to do anything with this, well, I'm not with a wah effect or a whammy effect, because I'm using the PRS. I'm using this guy here, the single cut McCarty. No, there's no whammy bar in it. So certain little things you could do with that. So now, if I wanted to use the amp sims and certain things I have programmed here on the ME90, well, I hit this foot switch. By the way, the middle foot switch, I don't know if you could see that. Let me see. That's the center foot switch on the Zoom, where you got these 4 cursor buttons. That activates a lot of functions. But in the play mode, you could hit it for pedal stomp mode. Or when you hit that, now you're in patch mode. So that particular patch I have, it's called Robin Trower, because when I do the... And I do have this program for its wah pedal. The wah that I have programmed in the Zoom is a Vox wah. The wah that's on the ME90, it's the Boss wah, and it works equally as good. I like them both. So if I want to use my patches or my sound from the ME90, what I do is I scroll over here. I have one set called acoustic. That's when I'm using the acoustic guitar. I have a slight little bit of a preamp in there to help boost the acoustic. But I also have another patch here that is called bass drums loop. And when I open up that into the pedal, the only thing I have in here is the looper on foot switch number 1, the drum pattern, foot switch number 2, and a flanger on foot switch number 3. So the EQ is basically, there's no EQ, there's no amp sim, nothing. It's almost flat response. There's no reverb, there's no delay. And the reason being is because now I'm going to use my patches that I normally use on the ME90. And let's see if I can come up with something here to kind of give you a little bit of a demonstration. Well, what I'll do is I'll do a loop right here. And so it's like I'm toggling back and forth between amp sims, different pedals and their different amp sims. Now, before I go any further, if I touch any of these dials, well, whatever's highlighted, it's gonna go into that pedal and start adjusting it. So what I'm gonna do here is go back to my patch. You have 4 buttons here. One's volume, one's high, mid, and low. What I'm doing here, this is like a global EQ setting, by the way. I do have my highs at -5. My mids are at 0, my lows are at 0, and then depending if I need extra volume, I'll crank up the volume here. But this is like a global EQ and volume setting. When you go into pedal mode, whatever pedal is raised up, then these become dials to dial in different tones and things of that nature. For instance, if I go to my drum pattern, it's going to go into the different drum patterns, and the let's see, where's the BPMs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now do a demo using the internal looper. This looper in here is only 80 seconds, so you got to kind of watch it. But what's nice is you have a bar that's going across as it's being recorded. As you're in the record mode on the looper, it's going across so you can actually see. What's really nice with this screen right here, and it's an older screen. Maybe I should grab the phone and show you guys. Here, let me do that, guys. I gotta take the guitar here because I want to show you something. It won't do this right now because it's fairly dark and you don't have the lights on. But in sunlight, this was a concern. I think the guys at Anderton's music store. Sorry, guys. Let me get this. Okay. So it might not do it. So yeah, you can see the screen right there. So you see how this pedal's raised up? If I go and use anything here, it's going to set, yeah, see? BPMs, volume. Whatever pedal gets raised up, these become functional for that particular pedal. If I go into here, patch mode, now this becomes a global EQ. Sorry about the focus on it. But what's nice with these screens, as old as this style is, and this pedal came out about a year ago. So I think Anderton's was saying something to the effect that, well, how come it's not a touchscreen and color-coded? Well, I don't know how well they'll do in sunlight, because certain color coding, there's certain colors, when the sun hits it, they don't come up. This screen, when the sun hits it, the backlit kind of fades, but the outline stays strong. I can see everything. That's really important when you're playing outside, man. Trust me on that one. I've done enough of these gigs outdoors. Sorry about where you're kind of stuck at the mercy of not being able to see anything. You know. Okay, I gotta do something here, guys. There we go. See if I can do that. Okay, so now, yeah, see, I got another tripod. This thing, it broke. So now what we're gonna do is if I could do this, guys, I apologize about this. There, so you could see me hitting the foot switches with the loop in that. Now we got this December 27th, and I played this literally every single day. And my goal is to play it every single day for a year straight, even if it's only for 5 minutes. And what I have been doing when I'm not gigging is I record myself on this little Zoom here. And then when I get ready to post it up at the end of the year, but this guy, this thing works great. When we need something quick, it'll run on AA batteries, and the back screen stays lit. It doesn't fade away when you're recording. So anyways, so let's go ahead and do a loop here. And then I'm going to do also a sound demo on the metal patch here, which it seems the amp sims for metal seem to be better in here than on the ME90, but the amp sims in the ME90 seem to be more like you're plugged into an amp. Now keep in mind, the ME90 is about anywhere between 300 to 350, and it does not come with the adapter. It will come with batteries because it'll run on batteries. But I don't need adapter because I got the powered pedal board here. The Zoom does come with this adapter, and that's like $229 or something like that. So they're below $500. And I guess my whole goal is, what could some of these cheaper units do in an actual gig, and how well could they hold up? When you start dropping $1,000 or so, yeah, they should. or anything above $500, they should hold out really good. My only beef is when you're doing these outdoor gigs, it's it becomes more heartbreaking when expensive gear gets destroyed from due to weather than more cheaper gear, more affordable gear. It's easier to replace. And let's face it, not everybody has, $1,000 or above 500 to drop on pedals. They may only have a couple of hundred. Maybe they're in the 350 range. That's their top, what they could afford. So what about those people? So, of course, sound is subjective. Your tone. Anyways, let's go ahead. Now, what I'm going to do is I will layer bass patch with the Digitech drop pedal. So here we go. Now I'm going to call for the pattern, drum pattern, but when I hit the looper, it will give a 4/4 count and everything will start. So that's kind of cool. I'm sure I could get in a program to turn it off, but anyways, we'll just go with this for right now. You have like a guide bar you can see as it's recording, so you don't go past your 80 seconds. Now, what I normally do here, I have a patch specifically when I do dubbing. Lay down my bass. add the flanger to everything. I have it right here. Now I'm going to show you a couple other functions here. I'm going to turn the drums off and just let the rhythm. This is kind of cool when you're just improvising. Keep the drums back in. You have to hit the switch twice to stop the loop. Now I could rearrange it because in the Zoom you could rearrange the effects in any order in the chain. I forgot to do that with this on this patch, but this came out to be a pleasant surprise because the drum is in sync with the loop. So when I turn off the loop, I still have my drums. Now, if I want to add my flanger, since everything's going through the flanger, because I forgot what order everything is on this, it just came out like that. So if I want to add, just adds a little effect. Now here, if I want to add bass, I can do that. So I got my drums. Back. Turn my delay off in the on the MV90, I can go to my memory/manual. Now I'm in manual mode, turn off my delay. can't do what you really want to do. But there's these little options that I've been finding out that kind of help with my shows, and it works. Now, here, this is what I would suggest you do when you're looping anything in the Zoom pedal. I'm going to stop the loop with the volume up. Okay, I'm going to stop the drums. Now, here is the little bit of issue. If you want to clear that loop, watch what happens. This is with my volume down. See, it plays for a little bit. So the best thing to do, if you get the Zoom pedal that's got the expression pedal, that's why it's called the Zoom G2X4. That X is for the expression pedal. They do sell this without the expression pedal. The advantage with the expression pedal is when you want to clear a loop, just back down on your volume, clear it, and you won't have anything coming through through the speaker and that. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to grab the. I could grab it with the guitar. I'm going to show you the tuner in here. It's pretty cool. Again, I got to do this, guys. I apologize. And I hope this is not bothering anyone out there. Okay, let me do this. So here, if I want to call in for my tuner, the switch here, hold it, and now you got your tuner. And it is, I got my other pedal down. Might be just slightly flat, but it's very easy to see. In direct sunlight, you can see it. So that's the cool thing about that. So the concern is going to be these little switches, okay? But this is raised. Now, at one of my gigs, when I hit the switch, I did accidentally hit these. All it did was, there was no sound that came out. So I was able to hit this with the tip of my toe or my shoe and got everything back in order. I am able to scroll here with the side of my shoe. You just have to be careful. But I had to make adjustments for this. It doesn't really bother me because the way I have these pedals set up, I had to make adjustments so that when I'm hitting any of my looping pedals, I don't accidentally hit this. This is hooked up to here. I don't have anything hooked up to here to go up and down the programs yet because they only had one of these and we're still waiting for another one. Now what we have to do is to plug this and that jack, we got to get an angle jack. So maybe I won't get another one, who knows. But it's pretty tight. So you learn how to make adjustments. That being said, when you do hit these, let me go here. You hit it with the side of your shoe, and it just hits these. These buttons are spring-loaded, so they don't snap. That was kind of a concern of mine. It's when they snap that they have issues. Plus, if I could do this, they're kind of recessed under that ring, so I might be okay with any debris getting inside there. But time always tells, right? And as the more we do in our outdoor gigs, because 99% of our gigs down here are outdoor, that's going to be the real test to see if any of this works. Now, am I trying to sell anybody this pedal? No, you do what you want. You buy what you want. But if you have questions about how its durability is, well, stick around and, you can view my channel at any time you want. And with this next year, all my gigs, I'm going to be using this with the ME90, but this is going to be put to use as well. And let me get up over here. I like the foot switches on these because they don't snap and they're not buttons. I'm surprised this one has not, but this is spring-loaded as well. Hasn't got any damage, but there's nothing protecting it. On my Digitech looping pedals, some of them dust got in there, and even though I cleaned it, it started to stick. So, and what I mean by dust, down here we get, when a little bit of wind blows, we get the sand, and it's real fine. And when it gets stuck in those switches, it becomes a problem. And unfortunately, a lot of these real expensive units are using those switches. There was only one guy that agreed to what I was saying, and that's when we bought this thing, the ME90, at the Naples Guitar Center. And there was a guy talking about, actually, one of the salesmen wanted to pick up the ME90 as well because now it's got the AIRD amp and cab sims technology. So a lot of it's kind of borrowed from the GT1000. But this guy, who's a customer, he knew right away what I was talking about with the dust getting stuck in those foot switches, metal foot switches, and he knew exactly. He says, because yeah, they have us playing outside. And when you do, well, when Fort Myers Beach, before it got destroyed, you were really right there, close to the sand. You know, they'd have the patio, because you usually set up on the patio, and then right next to the patio, you're at the edge of that patio, and you're about maybe the patio's raised. I think the most I've seen about 3 feet. But when that wind is blowing and people are walking, it's all that dust, all that sand is getting on that area. And man, you got to really keep your pedals clean. That's the only thing with playing with outdoor gigs down here. You got to really watch your gear because it can, it takes a beat, especially your pedals. So we're very blessed and fortunate that when we have to cancel like our art walk or music walk downtown Fort Myers, they have no problems with us because we don't do this to be drama queens or anything like that or to be difficult. They understand that our gear gets destroyed, and a lot of people that do play the music walk, they'll do type of the karaoke singing because you got a lot of singers, or if they got their acoustic, they're strumming and singing. A lot of them will not use any pedals, but because the way our show is, we're using them for backing tracks and live looping, and I could definitely do the whole show without any of it. Because when we do our art gigs, our art shows, I bring the classical guitar with me, and I just play straight, no amplifier or nothing. And we're out there 4 hours, but sometimes I'm playing 5 hours, and it's in between because sometimes I got to talk to customers if they were interested in a painting or something to buy. But usually I'm out there with no pedals, nothing. So that's not too bad. But for the music shows, I could do everything acoustically, but then you get the people say, "Oh, how come it sounds different?" It's like they always want something. And myself included, I do like how I'm using these and the sounds I get out of them. So it works for me. Now, again, when you start spending money on more higher end gear, yeah, you could get a really good sound. I personally would not recommend taking expensive gear to an outdoor gig unless you're going to be basically protected from the weather because that's what's going to do it. That's what's going to do your gear in is the weather. Or, you get someone that is requesting songs if you're playing a cover band and they get a little bit too tipsy, aka drunk, and they're walking with a red Solo cup I Fill You Up with no top on it, and it's sloshing around, and it spills on your pedal board. Mm. We've had a situation where a lady laid her cup on, actually on a tabletop, basically where we had our mixing board, and it fell, and it took out our mixing board, our older. We were able to have it dried out, and it still works. It was older Elise's. What we had to do is buy another one because we had another show the next day. Thank God we were going through a powered PA speaker that had a 3-band EQ. But these things happen, and it's sometimes people they don't understand is what happens. And it's not that you're trying to be rude. You don't want your gear to get destroyed. So could you imagine if you have something like Axe Effects? Some of those would go for like $2,700. Or the Helix or the Headrust Prime or anything that's in the $1,000 range. Even $500 could be a little bit difficult to replace. It's not a happy day, but something like that is easy to replace. It's only a couple $100. This is easier to replace. It's again 300, 350 range. Now, when compared to some of these other higher end units, yeah, they do have a better, more amp sim capability, better sounds, and yeah. But if there's only a few sounds I'm going to need to pull out of some, I don't need to have all those options. So if I could get a good enough sound out of these two, I'm good to go. You know. Okay, so before I close off, I'm gonna give a quick demo on the metal patch I got in the on the Zoom. So we'll go ahead, and I call it the metal course because I'm using a course effect, kind of like that 80s metal sound. And oh god, this is horrible, man. This is horrible. Anyway, so if you can still see the Zoom, I'm gonna show you exactly about what you have to do to hit these switches. Yep, and it's actually working. So I have clean course and metal course. So what I'm going to do here is go to my patch that is flat respond. Before I go any further, I'm going to show you what I do like about the phase shifter in this. It does have a nice, a wide, whereas on the Boss it's not as wide. It sounds great, but I do like the Zoom phase shifter in there. So let's get back into my cleaner sound. I'm going to do the coil tapping, and I got both pickups, so I get my switches in the middle. Neck and bridge pickup. Turned off the course. Now turn the course back hit that, this is exactly what happens. Like when you accidentally hit those other switches, those little switches. So that's what you have to be careful of, because that's what it'll do. What it will do, it will call for whatever effect that is raised up. In this case, it happened to go and hit the overdrive. So let me just do this. We're gonna bring the volume down a little bit and turn off the overdrive. Now they say their claim on the Zoom, since it's layered, the way their IRs work, it's layered 3 times. You should be able to roll down your volume on your guitar and clean up a little bit, but it depends how much gain you have on the amp. Doesn't really do it too well. There you go, a little bit raised, but not as much. The delay on there is really nice too. It does have ping pong delay, so if you go in stereo with the Zoom, you'll get the ping pong effect. Unfortunately, the ME90 does not have it, but I think if you hook it up to the computer and download some patches, then you can kind of rearrange things. That's the only drawback with, the ME90. But other than that, it's a great effect. In conjunction, they work great together. So, anyways, guys, I hope this has been helpful. When I am doing more recording on the Zoom camera with more in depth, when I could get things cleared up with my phone and with this channel, and when I could on my laptop I could start uploading direct. It'll be more focused on the pedal itself and exactly what I'm doing. I just wanted to do this as a quick live stream. Let me grab this. Sorry guys, as a quick live stream because show got canceled. But all in all, it's not a bad unit at all. And plus, when I could get things cleared up on my phone, because I bought a little zip drive to download stuff because my phone got filled up with all the artwork pictures I'm doing that. So once I get that cleared up, then I could also start posting up on Rumble, because we do have a Rumble channel called Gigs and Gear Dave Byron. So we only have 3 videos on there, and they've actually been doing pretty good. I'm shocked. I haven't been able to really post anything, because of that. I got to download that app on the laptop and then see if I could upload from my laptop as well. But everything takes time, so. But getting right back to the pedals, that's the latest pedal that we bought. And, if I get a chance to go to the music store, like my friends, I'll use over at Chris's Educator Music in Cape Coral, and check out some of the pedals over there. I could, see if I could do some recording and post that up. Because even though we changed our channel name to Guitar Rig and Gigs, I'm not going to go out there and buy a whole bunch of gear just to do demos. I mean, you could waste a whole lot of money, especially in time, if I'm not going to use it. But if I get a chance to go to the music store, do a little bit of demoing and playing there, that's one thing. But primarily, the name changes to, spotlight the gear that I'm using and test it for like a year. How well could this stuff hold up for a year? I still have the Boss GT1, and I've been using it for 2 years, and there was no issues. The only issue I had, and I think now, looking back, it was that cable that hooked up from the other foot switch into that jack, because you do have a control jack on that pedal. But the impedance might be a little bit off, and over 2 years of use, it might have done something. So, but all in all, those foot switches worked great, So, like I said, time tells all. If you buy a piece of gear, just keep that in mind. And the best thing, especially with foot pedals, they get stomped on, and that's what they're made for, to get used, not abused. Don't slam your whole body weight on something. Yeah, then it will break. But your effect pedals get, I think, the most abuse. The guitars get abused in the weather, in the extreme weather changes. Yeah, definitely. One more quick tip before I call it a day. These, I never had to do these on the older bosses, but these, make sure these are tight because they have a tendency, especially a looping pedal. If you're doing a lot of looping, these get a little bit loose, and then the spring pops up. It doesn't break, just the pedal pops up. You just gotta put it back down. So that's that, my friends, and I hope this has been helpful. Now we are off this coming weekend. Our next gig will be next Monday. Hopefully, we won't get rained out because this is our winter down here. It either rains or gets a little too cold, or hopefully the weather will start to break. Now we're coming out of January. Now we should see the temperature start to rise a little bit, so we should be back on track for next Monday's gig, but I'll keep everybody posted. Until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all your support, and again, hope this has been helpful. Until next time, oh, I'm gonna make sure I get. Oh yeah, thanks. I had what time to play, but yeah, no, Dan, I'll definitely check it out, man, definitely. And oh, you too, John. Have a great night, my friend. And we will keep you guys posted when we'll be going live. Hopefully, we should be at our next gig. And if I have to do something, maybe I'll do something during the week, but definitely on Monday. If not, then maybe we'll do something here in the studio if our outdoor gig gets canceled. Maybe we'll do some playing or something. Until then, you guys have a great week. And always, as always, stay creative, be safe, rock on, and God bless. Thanks for watching.